Project is going to be pretty cool. It's going to allow us to store the books we're reading and then go back and mark them as read, so that, for example, we can keep track of everything we've read so far and what we want to read in the future. The most exciting part about this project, though, is the way we're going to build it. We're going to start by using an in-memory database, which is just a Python list. Then we're going to extend it so that instead of saving things in a list, it saves them in a file. And afterwards, we're going to extend it further still by saving things to a SQL database. Building the project in these 3 distinct steps is going to help us really understand what's going on behind the scenes. So please bear with me as we go through this. We're going to have some coding sessions like the one you see in your video right now, interspersed with some slightly more theoretical sessions where we'll talk about databases and how they work, and also how to use them. If you don't know what a database is, don't worry. Through this section, you're going to understand exactly what goes on inside a database and why we want to use them. The milestone project, though, is going to be a book list. So in the next lecture, you're going to have a brief explaining exactly what I want you to do for this project. But I also wanted to give you some brief instructions in this video just to help you along your way. Our project is going to have 2 files. It's going to have an app file, and it's also going to have a package which is going to be called utils, not ITOs, utils. And inside utils, we're going to have another file which we're going to call database.py. This database.py is going to be concerned with storing and retrieving books from a list. Okay, so it's not really going to be a SQL database just now, it's going to be an in-memory database. And we're going to have a books list, which is going to be an empty list to begin with. And we're also going to have some functions here to add a new book to our list, to retrieve the books from our list, and so forth. The brief is going to have a lot more information on exactly the layout of this file and how it's going to be used. In app.py, we're going to have our user menu. Of course, this is going to be a text-based application. We haven't looked at making graphical interfaces just yet. So we're going to do everything via text. For that, we are going to have 2 things. First one is we are going to import database in order that we can deal with saving things to our books list and so forth. And we're also going to have a user choice. And this is going to be a multi-line string, which is going to describe to the user what they can do. So I'm going to just copy it from my notes here, like so, your choice here. So the user choice is what we're going to print out for the user to know what sort of things they can type. And that's going to be A, to add a new book, L, to list all books, R, to mark a book as read, D, to delete a book, and Q, to quit. We've already created a menu for our last milestone project, so you know how this goes. We're going to have a menu here, and then we are going to sort of get the user input. And then we're going to have a user input is not Q while loop, and here we're going to ask the user stuff. Sorry, not going to ask the user stuff, but we're going to actually deal with the user's input. So if they enter A, we're going to call a function that adds a book. If they enter L, we're going to call a function that lists all books, and so forth. So down here, you'll probably have something that looks like prompt add book, and def list books, and def prompt read book, and def prompt delete book. Like so. So each of these functions should do something. This one's probably going to ask for book name and author. This one's going to show all the books in our list. This one's probably ask for book name and change it to read in our list. And this one's going to remove book from list. Ask for book name and remove book from list. So these are probably going to be your functions. In the prompt add book, you're going to be interacting with the database file to add a new book to our database. What I'm thinking is the database file will have something like add book, and that's going to take the book name and author, and it's probably going to do something like books append name is name, and author is author, and read is false, because it's not been read at the start. Okay. Now you'll have to create other functions here to do things like retrieve all the books from our list. You're going to have to add something to modify a book so it is now read. And of course, delete a book. And also you'll have to implement this menu here and all these functions. Read the brief in the very next lecture. It's got a bunch more information on exactly the motivation behind this project and also some hints and tips to help you along your way. But please do attempt this on your own before moving on to the next. Using our in-memory database, which is a Python list. I really hope you did give it a go following the project brief and you tried to implement this project on your own, and hopefully you succeeded and made it work. You can always ask questions in the course Q&A if you need help with anything specific before moving on. But now that you're here, let's go and implement this project using lists as our in-memory database. Of course, the first thing we'll do is define the user interface so that the user can interact with our program, and then we can add functionality little by little. The first thing we've got is we ask the user to enter their choice. That's A, L, R, D, or Q. If they enter Q, we're not going to go into this loop. So in here, we have to deal with 4 options. If the user input is A, if the user input is L, if the user input is R, and if the user input is D. And if it's none of them, we can print unknown command, please try again. Okay. Now, of course, in order to go back to the top of the loop with a different user input, we must reset the user input to something else. For that, we're going to ask the user again, but make sure that that's not inside the else or anywhere. Just here within the loop outside of any of these statements. I also gave you a few hints of what you could call your functions. So I'm just going to use those names here. So I'm going to call prompt add book, the function that doesn't exist yet, when they type A. We're going to call list books when they type L, prompt read book when they type R, and prompt delete book when they type D. The reason why these functions have prompt in front of them is because these functions aren't just going to do things, they're also going to ask the user for something, and that's just my way of telling myself, these functions are going to ask the user, and they have to ask the user for some information in order to do what they want to do. If you want to add a book, you have to ask the user for the name and author. If you want to read a book, you have to ask the user at least for the name, and if you want to delete a book, you also have to ask at least for the name. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement our functions. Python styling suggests we leave 2 blank lines between 2 functions, so we're going to do just that, and then we're going to define our prompt add book function. What this is going to do is ask the user for name and author. So name and the author. And then all it's got to do is ask the database to save this book. Notice how it's not going to interact with the books list directly, but it's going to ask the database to save the book to the list. So what to do here is say database.addBook, name and author. Now when we call this, we pass the value of name, a string, and the value of author, another string, to our addBook function. And this is now going to use this global variable to append this dictionary, which represents our book. It has a name, an author, and a read status, which starts off as false. We're going to be able to change this later on. Okay. Now we can delete our first comment, for we've already accomplished it. Once again, leaving 2 lines, we can say list books. And the list books is just going to ask the database for all the books. And it's going to print them off one by one. So for book in books, we're going to print some representation of the book. We can do that later. For right now, we're just going to print the dictionary that will come back. Remember, we're storing dictionaries. Dictionaries are going to come back. The getAllBooks function does not exist, so we're going to create it in the database. And what should this function do? Well, in order to get all the books, all it has to do is return this list here that will contain all our books. So just return books will do. When we step up this program and work with files, this is going to get more complicated, of course. It's going to have to actually open a file and read the contents. And certainly when we move on to databases, it's going to get even more complicated, as we will have to connect to the database and retrieve the data. But for now, because we're using a simple in-memory database, we can just return the books there. Now we can delete our list books comment there, since we've already implemented it. Let's move on to prompt read book. And this has to ask for the book name and then go to the database and change it to read. So, name. Enter the name of the book you just finished reading. And then all we want to do is say database mark book as read with that name. Of course, this function does not exist, so we have to go over to our database.py and define that. Mark book as read. And it is given a name. This parameter here will receive the string that the user entered, and that should be the name of the book. So how would we mark a book as read, knowing that we have a list of books? If you didn't try this before, then I hope you paused the video there for a moment and gave it a go. All to do is just iterate over the books, and if the book was read, if book is equal to the name that we gave it, then say book read is now true. Okay, that's it. Just go over the books, and for each book, modify it if the name matches. Of course, this does suggest that if two books have the same name, they're both going to be changed over to be read. But, we can deal with that problem later on. If you want, of course, you can change this to take two arguments, the name and the author, and that gives you a bit more granularity in what you do. Finally, we're going to delete this comment here and define the prompt delete book. Once again, this is going to take a name, and it's going to do database.deleteBook with that name. Naturally, that also doesn't exist, so once again we go to our database and we define that function. So how may we do that? This is the slightly more interesting thing. There are a few ways in which we could delete a book. Pause the video and give it a go if you haven't already. One way that my students frequently come up with removing a book is by going over to the list documentation and see whether lists have any way of removing elements from them. And normally we end up with this. Go through each book. If the name matches what we want to delete, then do books.remove book. Because the list objects have this .remove method in them, and they take one of the objects in the list and allows you to remove the object entirely from the list. So this would certainly work. However, it is generally considered bad practice to modify a list while you iterate over it. That's because as you go from one element to the next, elements are disappearing, Python can get a bit confused, so generally not a good idea to remove elements from a list while you iterate over it. However, this is a way that you could do it, and it would work in the majority of circumstances. Instead, I would do this. The first thing we want to do is say books is equal to, remember that's our variable up there, and now we're going to use a list comprehension with a conditional. A list comprehension with a conditional is going to go adding each book over to this new list if the book's name is not equal to the name we got as an argument. Add each book to new list if book name is not equal to the name argument that we got here, the name parameter, sorry. Once again, I'd encourage you to pause the video and give this list comprehension a go, just for practice. Make sure that you've not forgotten how to implement list comprehensions. And if you have, then continue watching and we shall implement it. Okay, I hope you got that, but if you didn't, that's totally fine. All we want to do is create a variable for book in books, and then we only want to put it inside the list. Remember, this is the value we're putting in our new list. If the book name is not equal to the name argument. I'm going to delete this comment now from there since we don't need it any longer. So this is going to put the book element into a new list for book in books, which is our list, if the book's name is not equal to the parameter. But of course, Python doesn't quite like this. And there's a really good reason why I'm getting a red line, and this is something that you should preempt against and you should understand. The reason why it's giving me a red line is because of the concept of scope. Once again, I did mention that scope would appear throughout the course a number of times, and this is an important scenario for understanding scope. What we've got now is we have a global variable called books. However, Python has also created a local variable to this function. This variable books only exists within this function here, and it is not the same variable as the global variable books. So now it thinks that we are setting this variable, we're creating this new variable books, but we are also using it in the statement that creates it. And this is obviously nonsensical because this variable doesn't exist yet since it's being created in that same line. What we have to do is tell Python that we don't want to create a new variable. We want to use the global variable books. Another option would be to rename this variable. Books new is that, and then it doesn't complain anymore because it realizes that this variable we're using must already exist. So instead of looking in the local scope, it looks in the global scope. However, we don't want to do that because we want to change this variable. And in order to do so, we must tell Python that we are looking to use a global variable, and that's really straightforward. We just do global books. What this does, essentially, is say books in the local scope is equal to books in the outer scope. Makes them the same, and then we can use it as normal. Now it knows that when we use this variable, we refer to the outer variable, and similarly here, we're also referring to the outer variable. So we're not looking to create a variable in the local scope. Okay. That's it for deleting books, so we can go back to our app.py and delete our last comment. And now we have our application completed. Of course, I went through this quite quickly. I'd expect you to take substantially longer the first time that you develop this, as per the brief. But if you've gotten this far with me, now you hopefully understand what's involved in making this app. We just have to get the data from the user, create dictionaries for the books, and then store them in a list. Each of the other operations is just going to go through our books and change them, go through our books and delete them, or just let the user read them. Now I'm just going to make a small improvement in the list books function. I'm going to print something a bit nicer. So I'm going to print the book's name. Oh, of course, when you use the single quotes inside a dictionary and you've got single quotes outside in your F string, it doesn't like that. So I'm going to use double quotes on the outside, and just for Python's benefit. I'm going to say book name by book author, and read is going to be book read. So this is going to be something like fluent Python by the author, read, false, or true. In my case, it's false. I haven't read it yet. Okay, the author is, by the way, is Luciano Ramalho. I think that's how you say his name. It's a good book. You should read it. So now we've got the name and the author, and read is either true or false. If we want to make that a bit nicer, we can say something like read is yes if book read, else no. This is a ternary statement in Python. It just means use this value if this is true, otherwise use this value here for assigning to the variable. So if book read is true, it's going to say yes. If book read is false, it's going to say no. And remember, this is essentially the same as this. Book read is true. You can remove the is true as we looked at in the very first section of this course. Now instead of book read, we can just use read, since that's the variable we've created here. Okay, let's go and run our app and see what happens. Nothing. Of course, we've not ran the menu function. So let's go over down to the very bottom and run the menu function. And now we see our input. I'm just going to extend this a little bit. We can add a new book. Let's say, for example, Clean Code. This is a good book as well. You can also read it. It's by Robert C. Martin. And that's it. We've added it. Now we can press L to see them. And we get Clean Code by Robert C. Martin, read no. We can add another one. Let's say, for example, Test-Driven Development by Kent Beck. Also a good book. Now we can list them, and we can see that we've not read either Clean Code or Test-Driven Development, but we want to. So let's go ahead and read Clean Code first. So we type R. And by the way, add a space after your choice. This is poor planning on my part. It just looks awful. Enter the name of the book you just finished reading. Let's say Clean Code. Now we can list the books again, and we see that Clean Code says yes. Of course, when we quit and we start again, we don't have any books because we've stored them in an in-memory database. That is a database that lives in memory, in the memory of our computer, which is volatile and is only available for as long as the app is running. As soon as we stop running, that database gets erased by Python to save memory. We don't want this, so what we want to do is go ahead and use a file instead. And now you understand why I have tried to decouple our database from our app. Now, nearly all the changes are going to be in the database file for us to swap over to files instead of in-memory database. Here's an example. Books is now not going to be a list any longer. It's going to be a file name. For example, books.txt. Add book is going to open the file and it's going to append a book to it. Get all books is going to read the file and return all the books in it. Mark books as read is going to read all the books. It's going to change one and it's going to rewrite them to the file. And delete book is going to read all the books. It's going to delete one and then it's going to rewrite it to the file. You can store the books in CSV format or in JSON format. It's up to you. Of course, if you store them in JSON, it's slightly easier to work with since we've already worked with dictionaries here. But if you store them in CSV, it's not much more difficult either. In the next video, we're going to go